This episode of From the Middle is brought to you by Backroom Coffee Roasters. As you know, we're middle-class guys in Middle America with opinions that fall somewhere in the middle. But some things we just hold in higher esteem, especially when it comes to our coffee. Here at From the Middle, our coffee is generously provided by Backroom Coffee Roasters. A local small batch roaster, Backroom is run by people who love to tinker, whether it's perfecting their next bean, working on their bikes, or dabbling in the woodshed. We like them because Backroom Coffee Roasters is a Middle America company run by some middle-class guys who just happen to make some first-class coffee. Use promo code MIDDLER for 10% off all orders. I've got some of the cold brew here. The beanies just came out, as well as the hoodies and some really cool hats. So thank you, Backroom. We appreciate it. Welcome to another episode of From the Middle. This is episode number 31.
Ooh, hey.
31.
Yes.
And if you don't know anything about our podcast, we're just a group of dudes who like to just get together and talk from time to time about stuff. Serious stuff, fun stuff, cool stuff, neat stuff.
Like yogurt.
Yogurt, bread making, Baby Yoda.
Not exclusively, if you're listening for the first time.
Yes.
But among other topics.
Well, yeah, but it's mostly yogurt.
This is pretty much a yogurt podcast with other things thrown in. The yogurt. And then sometimes other topics like Baby Yoda.
I can't believe we haven't run out of yogurt puns yet. This has been wonderful. So good.
Are the yogurt puns played out?
I enjoyed that one. And that coming from the anti-pun guy.
Didn't do anything for the room.
So Christmas is just around the corner, and we thought we would talk about Christmas stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas memories, products that we like and enjoy, products that are made by companies that we would like to sponsor us.
There it is.
If we had our wish. Christmas memories.
Yeah.
We already talked about our favorite Christmas movies.
We did, yeah. I don't know. Did you guys think of any more after we talked about it a couple weeks ago?
Of my favorites? No.
Yeah, we kind of had that like post-Thanksgiving.
Just to, yeah.
Christmas is around the corner.
To recap, Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Or you're wrong.
Of all time.
And if you haven't seen it, then get out of my country.
Middler Mike was asking why Gremlins doesn't get any love around Christmas time.
I'm okay with whatever. It's fine. Gremlins is fine. I was about to make that. It's not a Christmas movie thing, but I'm on board with Die Hard. I'll be on board with Gremlins. Is there, unless there's another, there isn't like a Gremlins Christmas edition, is there, that I'm unaware of?
I think those are the Ewoks.
Speaking of that Christmas edition, that was actually, I just learned this recently. That was Boba Fett's first appearance even before Empire Strikes Back. Was in the Christmas Christmas special. Weren't you alluding to the Star Wars Christmas special?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The animated Star Wars Christmas, was it animated?
I don't know.
Yes. I've never seen it. Yeah. That was Boba Fett's first appearance.
Wow.
As a Boba Fett fan, I'm ashamed that I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interestingly, if you see the picture of him riding some kind of space alien, he's holding the same weapon, that kind of pronged end weapon that the Mandalorian in the new Mandalorian series is using. So that's kind of fun. But anyways.
Yeah, before we get into the hot and heavy of Christmas fun, do we have any updates that we'd like to share?
We actually shared a picture. My wife and I went to John McLaughlin in concert, which was a great show. He played out at 31 West out in Newark, and it was really, really good. Some of you might know John McLaughlin just because he's acoustic piano feel to all of his music. He also was in... it's not Tangled.
Enchanted?
Enchanted, yeah. When Amy Adams is dancing with the main guy in the kind of the ballroom scene, John McLaughlin is singing this song.
Love that song.
In the ballroom. We'll have to look it up. I don't remember the name of the song. But that's, other people might know John McLaughlin from that. But
sure.
It was a really great concert. Jordy Searcy, Jordysearcy, I believe, from Nashville, opened up for John McLaughlin.
That's fast spelling, by the way.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. And Jordy was great. I actually had to go back. It was so good. I really wanted to go look him up. And like, because, at the end he does is like, hey, follow me on Spotify, da 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 da. And I wanted to make sure I could spell it, because when you just hear the name Jordy Searcy, you have no idea really how that's spelled.
Right.
So I ran back to the table and introduced myself and made sure I knew how to spell it. And I was like, dude, I followed you on Spotify. Great show. And it was funny because I'm like, I almost hate to use this word because it's so overused, but I'm like, it was just a really authentic, like intimate, like opening act for John McLaughlin. Authentic is such an overused word, but it was so good. And John was great. We got to talk to him a little bit after the show. He was performing on the night of the Big Ten championship. So it's a little delayed in relaying this. And I guess like half the people that bought tickets didn't show up, which was unfortunate. And so I said, tonight is not indicative of Columbus's appreciation for good music. Like, you just happened to pick a bad night to be in Columbus area, for a concert. So, but it was a great show, and we gave him a shout out on social media. And his new album, Moods, it's all piano driven. I asked him a little bit after the show, kind of what he was channeling for that album, and he said Debussy, and I'm blanking on the other thing that he said, but it's a very pretty piano album if you like that kind of solo piano feel.
He went to Anderson, which is where our sister went, and
my sister-in-law and our sister both went to Anderson and have some kind of connection story with him, that they were there around the same time as John McLaughlin. So if you know Anderson University in Indiana, shout out to them. The Ravens? Are they the Ravens?
Falcons?
Raven? I don't
Anderson.
know. There's only one Anderson University.
Birds of Prey?
Yeah, something. But they both had
Anderson
some
Birds of
kind
Prey.
of like...
Yeah, pretty sure that's it.
The Bops.
Some kind of acquaintance-like connection to him during his time there at Anderson. So, yeah, it was a really, really good show. So if he ever comes back and it's not on the night of a Ohio State football game, everyone should go check it out, because it was a great show. And check out Jordy Searcy as well. Online. He put on a really good opening act.
And that hit song from the movie Enchanted was So Close. That's So Close by John McLaughlin.
There it is.
And Jordy Searcy's song, the one that you told me to watch the video on, Explaining Jesus, that's a really good song and video. They did it all in like one shot in an old chapel.
Yeah, very pretty. And he had several songs that really I was impressed with this whole set, but the Explaining Jesus song was very, very pretty song. So yeah, check out his stuff. We've streamed some of it on YouTube, and I've played some on Spotify. And
since we're talking music, I went back and listened to some 90s kids.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I listened to like their most popular songs on Spotify just to start, and really, really good. So I know that they interacted with us a bit on social too, but good stuff, guys. Keep up the good work.
Indeed.
And now that you have our seal of approval, you can go anywhere in this big old world.
So that's my only real update. It was a great show, and if you're not listening to those guys, you should definitely check them out.
Cool. Right on. So I had heard a little fun fact that squids, that only they have the two long tentacles, and those are the only tentacles that actually have suction cups on them. So I mean, I'm pretty sure it's true because I read it from a guy who knows a lot about squids. I would call what I just said a squid pro quote.
We'll give everyone some time at home to finish laughing, and then we can come back.
And yes, that is a Kindle original joke right there.
Oh, you made that one up?
I made that one up myself. If you could believe that.
You better hurry up and put
I can definitely believe it.
You better put your name on that real quick, because I can imagine it's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
By countless people.
Yep.
Yikes.
So anyway, that's my updates.
Great. Corey, you got any?
I'm still reeling from what just transpired,
so good.
I'm good. Christmas is here. Woo! I'm so excited, you guys.
We're very close to Christmas as of when this comes out, a week before, in fact.
Right. Well,
This will release before Christmas Day.
yes.
And for anyone listening, we will not have full episodes on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. However, you should be prepared to still check your podcast's app on those holidays for a very brief message from us.
Yeah, we've got snacks for you.
We've got little snacky snacks
Snacky McSnackers.
on the holidays themselves. And then we will be back with a full episode January 8th, I think.
January 8th. Yeah.
January 8th.
So
So,
we'll be back with a full.
yeah, so we'll be back with full episodes then. So tune into those little snacks on the holidays.
Little bite-sized bundles of joy, and your kids will and you will be more excited to come down to your devices and listen to these little tasty snacks. They'll be more excited about that than they will opening any presents.
Yeah. So little word of caution is that usually the podcasts drop at 1 a.m. or so, like wee early morning hours of Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to want to like have your kids listen to the podcast before they open the presents, because we'll end up stealing the Santa thunder.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're all about. We want Santa to have his thunder, let them get all excited for that. And then once all the excitement has died down, then you listen to From the Middle after that, just to end the night out right.
Yeah, get a glass of eggnog, slip on your penny loafers, grab a chair by the fire, and just put those on. And you'll enjoy it as you wind down from the day full of excitement.
I can think of nothing more important on each of these days. So you're going to want to make sure. So once again, not full episodes, but some tasty morsels of FTM goodness streaming right into your ear holes for your delights.
Yes.
And all of the things. So
That was frightening.
the pacing on this one so far has been interesting. What do we want to talk about Christmas, guys?
Well, we've already covered movies.
Yes.
Do either of you have any...
Oh, yeah, good question.
I do have a question. Do either of you have any like favorite Christmas albums or songs, or outside of like, there's all the memes that like Mariah Carey and Michael Bublé are like waiting for Christmas music to like step out of their homes in like their fancy red suits and outfits to serenade us with holiday joy. But do you have any favorite?
I don't know that I have a clear favorite.
Okay, I'll go.
I mean, I've always like
No, go.
good night. That was
I was just teeing that one up for myself, but please go ahead and use your words to talk about whatever things you care about.
I don't know. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. All right.
All right, a little TSO.
Yeah, TSO.
Is that ever like too heavy? Does that ever feel too heavy for you?
Not for me.
I know you like rock, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy who listens to metal on the rig. So,
Yeah,
that was an E, by the way.
yeah. Sometimes I question the radio station's like cadence when they play a really soft song and then like TSO is blaring on the next one. And I go, you need to ramp up to that a
I'll say
little bit.
most of what I'm listening to Christmas music wise is either I just find a generic Christmas playlist and let it go, or like in the car I'm just turning on the radio.
All right.
So, but no, I am very fond of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I do have a couple of albums, and I will listen to them in their entirety. So there's that, and I also have a Barbra Streisand vinyl that I enjoy listening to, just because I think it's fun to listen to Barbra Streisand sing Christmas music. So,
All right.
Engelbert Humperdinck has some bangers. Some Christmas bang bangs. Outside of that, nope.
Wow. So glad I prepared these questions.
Die Hard soundtrack.
All right.
No, the one I was going to say is the one you're probably going
Gremlins
to say.
Yeah.
So I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, it's okay. You can say it.
No, it was this like Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Not Dean. Bing. Bing. Dean's not on it. It's Bing.
Okay, Bing Crosby. It's called It's Christmas Time.
Right.
I don't know if it was like a gas station compilation album or what, but like it's really hard to find.
It is, yeah.
Why?
The album was made by Laserlight Digital, and there was a couple versions in both years, and then the same album title, but it was, I think, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, and Louis Armstrong on the other version. And so there's a couple that look very similar that's different. We grew up with the one that had Frank, Bing, and Nat King Cole.
Okay.
And that for us was like you can't go out to open your stockings until you would hear the music come on very early. Mom would put that in the rack component stereo system, and she'd put the CD in. And that was like, oh, we're getting close. It's game time. Because
you could smell the breakfast.
Yeah, there was absolutely. You could smell the good foods, and the music was on, and then we knew like our parents would come get us, and it was go time.
Right on.
But yeah, it's Christmas time. That particular album is just oozing with nostalgia for me.
It's a good one. Chipmunks, when I was a little younger, we had the Chipmunks Christmas songs.
That one's just fun. And then I'm a sucker for Bublé, obviously, so his Christmas song is real good. So, yeah, that was the one I had to mention to give a shout out to that. You can probably buy it on eBay for like $3, but it was meaningful because of how it was used for us.
That's how most of the stuff for the season is, I find. Like whether it's a food or a gift or a song or a smell, it's just all just oozing with nostalgia with you and memories and family. And so I think that's one of the reasons why the Christmas season is so fun, because all of these things are so meaningful and just bring back a flood of memories. Hopefully for you, they're mostly positive.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, obviously everyone has different traditions. So, like, my wife grew up where they would open, like, stockings, I think, Christmas Eve, and then a gift, or all the gifts on Christmas Eve, and then stockings on Christmas Day, I think was how they do it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's totally different.
All the gifts on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, I think it's all the gifts on Christmas Eve, and then the stockings on Christmas Day.
Wow.
Which I think is weird. We couldn't even and some people do stockings Christmas Eve or the night before, and then, we didn't even literally get to touch anything till Christmas Day. It was like your stocking, and then the stocking was the first thing we opened.
No, you got a present on Christmas Eve, but you knew it was going to be pajamas for that night.
There were some years where, we did that. But generally, as far as real gifts.
Or pajamas, if you're weird.
Or PJs, or jammies.
Jams.
Jam Kendall.
McJammels.
Our matching ones that we got from the middle. But really, we didn't actually open up our stuff, anything, until Christmas Day. So all different. And I mean, I'd be curious, since this one will be releasing on the 18th, and then we'll have a full week.
Yeah.
People should like voicemail or post on our social, like your most fun
Christmas
favorite traditions. Food, music, movies, all of those things. Because I think it's really interesting.
Kendall, do you have memorable traditions from either growing up or stuff that you do now, or stuff that you...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could go through the whole... There's one thing, like, I'm with you that, like, there's a lot of nostalgia with Christmas for me, and I enjoy all those memories. But what I don't have value, like, trying to recreate those things. And so, like, I'm perfectly okay with, like, entirely doing our own thing with my own family, and that... and so we're sort of, I mean, so growing up as a kid, we had in our house 3 Christmas trees, all of which had presents, and there's a story as to why there were 3. And it basically is tied to sentimental value. But anyway, so my entire childhood, 3 trees, all of which got presents, and like when we went out with mom or dad to go shopping for the family, like we had to get 3 gifts for each member of the family, one for each tree, and then Santa would put gifts under each tree as well, and then we did the stocking thing, and Christmas Eve we would open one of the out of town gifts. So we had a couple different aunts and uncles that would mail us gifts, and so we would kind of pick like which out of town family we wanted to open the gift from on Christmas Eve, and so we would do that. Yeah, and then I mean Christmas morning took a long time in our house because there was so much to do. so much to open. And I just remember as a kid, like, obviously you have the memories of trying to stay up to see if you can catch Santa Claus in the act, which I never did, unfortunately.
The act of coming down your chimney?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Or, yeah. But we also, so I have two sisters, and all three of us, we would have our own little, like, 1.5 foot tree that we would, like, set up, like, on our dresser.
Yeah.
And decorate. And overnight, when Santa came, he would leave a toy of some kind, a gift, underneath our little tree. And the rule was, like, as soon as you woke up, whenever that was, you could open that.
Whenever you wanted. Nobody had to be around.
No one had to be around, just you. 4 a.m., I'm up and I'm opening that thing. And then play with it. And then we would always have a time that, like, we could not wake up mom and dad until 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever it was. So yeah, very, very fond memories. Chris, I have to mention too, I'm going to talk forever about Christmas until you guys shut me up. Christmas Eve dinner, I skipped that because this is my wife's favorite thing about what my family used to do and still does when they can. Christmas Eve dinner was always, we would come home from church Christmas Eve night, and mom would put out, like, all of the cookies and whatever snacks things that she had made, which was always way too much. And then she would always make, like, Swedish meatballs, and we would have, like, hors d'oeuvre kind of cheese and crackers and stuff. And that was Christmas Eve dinner for us. Essentially, it was cookies for dinner. And my wife, the first year we were not married yet. It was the first year that we were dating, and we started dating, I think, in the late summer or early fall, something like that. And so we were only together for a few months, but, like, her parents were going to be out of town for Christmas. And so, like, invited her along, and she came along, and I mean, she spent the night at my parents' house with us and everything. And, like, Christmas Eve dinner for her was like magic.
Wow.
So I think that's probably what sealed the deal.
The whole thing? Like,
no, Christmas Eve dinner, I
right.
think, for Amy is what sealed the deal. Like,
the whole dinner, though, was what sealed it? Or, like, one particular, like, just the fact that there were cookies?
The fact that it was basically cookies and fudge for dinner.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I was fine. I'm like, maybe she just loves meatballs. I don't know.
Maybe. No, so yeah. So that's Christmas in the Ayla household growing up. We with our family, we do a much more subdued version of Christmas, very much on purpose. But the one thing that I am taking away from my parents is that little toy underneath our individual tree.
Yeah, that's cool.
That concept. And so, like, even more specifically for our family, it's going to be a quiet toy, a quiet, busy toy of some kind. And we don't have, like, individual trees for the kids' rooms, but instead what we have is I have, again, I'm Christmas crazy, and so I have a lot of trees just, like, in our house. Mm-hmm. Every room gets a tree. And we have on our stairs that go up to the bedrooms, there's a landing there, and I have a skinny tree that sits on that landing. And so Christmas Eve night, I'm going to put 3 quiet toys under that tree for the kids. And the rule is going to be they can go down to the landing. They can't go any further downstairs than the landing until whatever the set time is, or however we want to do that.
Yeah.
But they can go down to that landing whenever they want.
Yeah.
And pick up a gift.
I like your family's tradition of when you said at Thanksgiving, Amy stays with her family, and then you come back and you get the whole house ready. You, like, take the whole next day,
Yeah.
and just go Christmas crazy.
Yeah.
And she posted the pictures. It looks amazing, man. Like,
Yeah.
you did a really good job.
Oh, dude, it's my favorite day.
Just put on
It's my
Christmas
favorite
music
thing.
and just the whole day of decorating.
It is literally the day I wake up in the morning and I get started, and then, like, I finish up the next day. Like, and I've yet to get it all done in one day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it looks great, man. It's really cool. Cool.
I love it.
Yeah, for us, it was, Christmas at home, and then we would go to Grandma and Grandpa Connor's house, where all of my mom's siblings and my cousins would come over, and we would just spend pretty much the rest of the day there. Big family, so we'd have multiple Christmases with Dad's side and everything, but that was, my room was at the end of the hallway, so I, have memories of just waiting and waiting for that album that we just mentioned to start, and then you knew you could come out. One year, and this is so first world, so I'll qualify it a little bit, but I don't know what the point of our parents doing this was. I almost called Dad today to ask, because I think I'm remembering this correctly. You know how, sometimes you can exaggerate or your memories. They did this thing where we came out and we were all excited, and I want to say there was either nothing or only one present under the tree. I don't know if you remember this. And Dad said something like, to the effect of, guys, it's been a hard year, and we just didn't have a lot of extra money to get. Just kidding. And he came out with like a huge garbage sack of already wrapped presents and dumped them out on the floor. And we were just doing our best to be okay with.
Wait, is this something he did every year?
No, just this one year.
Just this 1 year.
I need to fact check this. Or at least figure out what his intentions were. Or maybe it was like a really serious thing, and he was trying to teach us that it's not about the gifts. Probably that's what it was.
It wasn't just a being funny thing?
I remembered it as like a just kidding, and then dumped him out.
Yeah.
But anyway, like once he had got us to the point where we were almost in tears, he was like, "Here you go." So that was kind of fun. But our family, just me and my wife and the kids, we a couple of years ago started this thing that I think we had seen on TV, where for us it can get a little carried away with running all over creation, going to multiple Christmases, and so probably to the chagrin of some of our family, we just said, you know what, we're not doing that anymore. We're just going to stay home.
Yeah.
And we're not blocking anybody out. Right. Anybody's welcome, but we're not going to drive to 3 Christmases in one day, putting hours and hours and hours in the car. It was just getting to be too much. So we said, you know what, for our family, Christmas Day, we're just going to stay home. Anybody's welcome, but we're staying at home. One of the best decisions we've ever made. It's hard because you do have a big family, but as far as gifts go, the thing we had seen on TV was, that I was mentioning before, we do this for each kid: something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read. So each kid really only gets 4 quote unquote main gifts. Mm-hmm. And then we do a family, like a big family gift. So like a video game console, or, a bigger thing, like a trip, maybe a vacation. And Sherry and I don't usually do a ton for one another, but I really liked that. Something you want, something you need, something to wear, something to read. And so that's kind of how we try to keep a little bit of a lid on it.
There you go.
But yeah, it's fun. It's good being at home and knowing that you don't have to. It is a bummer to not always see family, like extended family, but at some point you have to start your own traditions with your own clan, and you don't want the day to be associated with stress and hours and hours and hours in the car, because it sort of just becomes this, okay, hey guys, we're here, get all the gifts, shove them in the car, go to the next one. And it's like, man, we're really kind of missing the point of this whole thing.
One thing that I've thought about is, like, if my family never traveled on Christmas, rarely on Thanksgiving, but sometimes we did. And now my family as well was like, we were like, my dad was the one who had moved far away, and then his whole family was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, 12 hours away. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't really, and when you weren't going to be driving up there,
right,
for Christmas. But we had family in Detroit, which is much closer. That we went to their place for Thanksgiving a couple of times, and it was fun. It was fine, but like, my best memories as a kid of Thanksgiving, like don't include the time that we traveled to someone else's house. It was staying home and doing things with my family. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that that kind of thing it's not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a flip side to the coin. I mean, people weren't happy the first year we decided to do that.
Right.
There were some hurt feelings, and like, why not? Because we were kind of the first ones to sort of quote unquote break off and do that.
Right.
But yeah, like we said, at some point you got to kind of start your own thing. And
what I would encourage people to do is just kind of think about your own family dynamic and what's best for your family if you're a parent. What's best for your family and figure that out and do that. And then your extended family, all extended families are different as well. So I mean, I wouldn't say like none of us are saying like this is what you should do. This is what you should do. This is what everybody.
No.
Like there are families where it's like the big family get together is that important. It's that good, and it's what's best for you and your kids and everybody. But I don't know. I think a lot of it for other people, it's that it just becomes unnecessary noise, and like you said, like if it causes you to stress out and you're not enjoying yourself anymore.
Yeah.
Then I mean, why are you doing it?
Well, for us, I actually prefer the big bash and the whole big party, and it just became a logistics thing because you've got like 3 and 4 generations, and you just physically can't keep putting that many people in one house.
Yeah.
And so we just like at some point it has to break off.
Right.
And it was a hard thing, and we still do it. We just don't do it on Christmas Day.
Sure.
And that it spreads out your Christmas season. You end up, having 5 and 6 different Christmases. But anyway, yeah, we're for sure not saying this is for everyone. It's a case by case basis. But ultimately, for our well-being and for the enjoyment of making memories in our home together, the 5 of us, that became the best thing. And again, still saying, whoever wants to come can come. Door is open. You are welcome to join us. We love to have you. Yeah. So. How about you, Broseph?
Well, you nicely recapped at least part of the childhood experience, I think, for both of us. But I also just remember, like, part of that, a lot of people do the kind of early morning at their own home, and then they might go to a grandparent's or another relative's house later in the day. I remember being a kid, and it's like, our parents very reasonably saying, but as a kid, this feels so unfair. You can take one toy.
Yeah.
You can take one toy with you. You're going to get more. They're just going, you're going to get more stuff, and we're going to have to bring it all home. It feels so unfair as a kid that you've got, new stuff to play with, and you like a new game system or new action figures or new whatever.
Because the big gifts probably came from your parents and not your aunt, right?
Right.
So you opened all the main, quote unquote, main things you wanted.
Yeah.
And you had to leave it at home for the day.
Yeah.
And not play with it until tomorrow because we're going to be at grandma's.
See, that's part of my fond memories of Christmas is the opening presents and then the rest of the day like figuring out your stuff.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. And I mean, there were times where you kind of made it work. I remember one relative. We never had a train around our tree at our house or the main places we would go.
Yeah.
But one relative, we would go to their house every now and then. They did, and I loved it. And I want to do it for my daughter when we get older because I think it's so much fun. Yeah. But like I would take my Lego minifigs and like put them on the train.
Yeah.
As it's going around the tree and set the other ones up, and there's like this like Wild West battle happening, around the train set. And I'm like laying on the ground playing with these like, British Imperial guys and the Wild West guys. And so like
who had the train?
It would have been Grandpa Hubble.
Okay.
Yeah. But we just didn't go there most of the time.
Yeah.
And he had a train around the tree, and I just loved it. I thought it was so much fun. So there's stuff like that, but I just remember like, how do I pick one? Like, I guess I'll just take Batman and the Batmobile because I can't take, I want to take all this other stuff. And but we probably had a lot of Christmases too where we got like Nerf guns that we would have played with a lot, and action figures and G.I. Joes and all kinds of cool stuff. But I just remember that being like, you knew it would be there when you got home, but it was like, but I don't want to go. I want to play with this right now.
Like you've lined them up in front of you, and you're like, okay, guys, only one of you gets to come with me.
It's like Andy, wanting to take just Woody to college.
Yeah.
He's like, he's got to pick. So, Yeah. So, anyways, that was for me. One of the kind of hard parts when you're a kid that feels like a big deal. But no, we would go typically do our own thing at home in the morning and go to our grandparents' house. And it was once you got there, you always had a great time. And we would do like this big thing where like all the kids would go around one at a time and open a gift.
Yeah.
Until they were gone, and then the adults would all go, and then by that point the kids have all taken off because they're not going to sit there and watch adults open socks and and ties and whatever
adult boring things,
a knit blanket.
And you would go by was it youngest to oldest of the kids, and everybody had to wait and watch each person
each gift. There wasn't even a rapid overlap. Like, oh, they're almost done. It looks like a Toy Story thing. Okay, go ahead. It was like, did you thank the person? Did you walk over and hug
Give them a hug. Yeah.
Okay, go sit back down. Okay, now you can go. You know. So you certainly learned patience as a kid.
Kidding.
And as we kept getting more and more little cousins, this became increasingly more torturous.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it seemed like somewhere in there, our lovely grandma would always come out with a basket full of like Reese's and Snickers and stuff, and she's handing that out while we're all sitting around opening stuff. So at least you had some candy.
Yeah.
That was the whole holiday season. I think I mentioned when we talked about Thanksgiving, like just getting up and watching the parade and that being a fun thing. It's the same for me, just remembering like playing with your toys and there's Christmas shows and cartoons on in the background. And, that's just you can smell whatever's in the kitchen and just this really strong, it was a beautiful thing. Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do with our daughter yet. She's not quite old enough. My wife just shared a picture on social media of our first Christmas tree when we were married. We lived in a small apartment, so we had one of those little skinny trees. It's meant to be like on your front porch
or on your landing.
Yeah, that we're using for our main Christmas tree. And this year, our only tree was stuck to the wall and is like a felt tree with felt ornaments that have little Velcro things for our daughter. So our tree this year is just that she can play with.
Yeah.
Because we're like, she's going to get into if we set up anything, she's getting into it.
Yeah.
So it's very different. But at some point, I've got to get a train set to put around the tree.
There you go.
Something about it feels a little magical.
Yeah.
So
what's the one toy you never got? That you asked for.
So I wouldn't say a toy. Here's a story. So I have two sisters. One of them is like 6-7 years older than I am, but the other one's only 13 months older than I am. And so her and I were buddy and got into trouble together and everything. And to this day we're best friends. But she and I, every year, most years, would locate where the hidden gifts were, and it was often in the same place. And we would find times and opportunities to go and snoop and peek before they were wrapped. And like year after year after year, we were doing that. And I legitimately don't think we ever got caught until this one year. And I don't even know how it happened, but the things were sitting like under a blanket in my parents' bedroom. And this is going to date me and also make me sound as nerdy as I am. But when I was a kid, sometime in elementary school, what I wanted the most was a matching nylon tracksuit, like the windbreaker with the matching pants situation.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Like, that's what I was asking for. And I remember we were... Shut up.
No.
I remember.
It was on my list, too.
Was it really?
I don't know. But just trying to make you feel better.
That's fine. And I still, to this day, have never received a tracksuit. Spoiler alert. Where this story's going. Because, okay, so my sister and I, we found the gifts that year, lifted up the blanket. We're carefully, we knew to carefully go through things to make sure that nothing fell over, that we weren't we didn't want to move bags too much so that we didn't want them to get stacked in a different order or whatever. And there it was, my tracksuit was there. And we put the blanket back over the thing, and left the bedroom. And like any other year, we thought everything was cool. Christmas morning happens. We're opening our gifts, and keep in mind the 3-tree situation that we had in our house. And so like opening all the gifts under the first tree, no tracksuit. Open all the gifts under the second tree, no tracksuit. Open all the gifts under the third tree, no tracksuit. Oh. And I'm just like, and I'm not like upset or anything. I'm more like, and I'm young and stupid enough that like I actually like ask my parents about it, and I was like, what happened to the tracksuit? And they're like, what tracksuit? And so that was my parents. They had somehow figured out that her and I had snooped, and they proceeded to take our gifts back, and they replaced them. They returned them. So they were very gracious in that way. But yeah, no, the gifts that they knew that we saw, they returned. And
wow.
And I never got my tracksuit. So it did not scar me for life. It just gave me a funny story.
Interesting.
Well, buddy, if we sell enough stickers,
I want to get a tracksuit with a matching hat for Toby.
All right.
And we're going to go for walks.
You can set up a GoFundMe. The people will donate to anything. If you show a picture of a bird, I think you've got it in a day.
Yeah.
I think so.
how about you, man? What was the one gift or toy that you never got?
There's a couple. One is very generic and then one is specific. So I'm sure I always had on my list whatever the biggest Lego set was that would have been just way too expensive.
Sure.
You know, some huge castle or Fort Legorado or something like that. So I'm sure that was on my list every year, and my parents probably got me several of the smaller sets, but which I was very thankful for. But those always seemed to elude me. And then one very specific one, Home Alone 2 made the Talk Boy look so cool.
Yeah.
In my mind, the things that I could have done if I had had a Talk Boy. And probably would have just been like Tommy Boy, like lo la la la, you know, something dumb with it. But in my mind, it was like this kid became James Bond with this thing.
Yeah.
And so I always wanted a Talk Boy, and I never got one.
Did you? I want to go back to the things I could have done with a Talk Boy. Did you play that out in your head? Like, what things could you have done with a Talk Boy?
I don't think I did. I think in my mind, all I knew was I saw the things Kevin McAllister used it for.
Yeah.
And I bet I could find similar things.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever so specific other than look at all the crazy ways he uses that. I bet I could find some crazy shenanigans to get into.
Yeah.
If only I had a Talk Boy.
Yep.
So that was one of them.
I would rule the world.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
It felt like it.
I'd call pizza places, convince them that I'm the president, and have them give me free pizza. That's what I would do.
All right, go ahead, Corey.
Mine was your first one. I wanted so badly the Lego monorail, the space.
Oh yeah.
Space set. My buddy Matthew Allen had it, and he had all the cool Lego sets, man. And I think at the time in the 90s, even this was like $179.99. So I could be wrong, but for some reason that's the number that's imprinted in my brain. I knew it was out of reach to be realistic for a gift, but I just thought I'll just keep putting it on my list for a couple years. It was Lego, they have 4-digit numbers for the Lego sets.
Yeah.
It's 6991, the monorail transport base. I wanted that so badly because you put batteries in it, I think, and it actually went around the track. So yeah, the Lego monorail. I looked it up on eBay recently, and it was a stupid. Still in the original box, it was just a ridiculous amount. Because I think Dad had one Christmas where he was asking us, "What's the one gift you never got?" Because he was big into buying on eBay the original 12-inch G.I. Joe figures that he grew up on.
Okay.
So he was into this phase of nostalgic toys, and so he was asking because he was into that collecting a certain series that he wanted. And we were looking one Christmas, like having this same conversation, like what's the one toy that or gift that you never got? And we were looking, it's like, holy crap.
$550. You can get it right now on eBay.
Okay, that's crazy, but that's not that
The newest Lego, the UCS Millennium Falcon, is $800.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm for even current Lego pricing. It's not nearly as big of a set, but
Yeah, the Lego monorail. Anyway, how about your favorite gift? We don't want to end on a negative. Like, what's one of the most special gifts that you got, or something that you'll just never forget opening?
Boy, that's a good question.
I don't know a favorite because, frankly, I can remember a lot of really cool toys. Like, we were fortunate to have gotten a good amount of stuff. But, like, a few things that pop out as in my head is things I remember opening that I was so excited about. It was probably about a foot long. It was a police car that had 4 buttons on the back with just different sounds, and the sirens would go off. I was so excited about that. The toy wooden gun that had the metal handle that you could like cock the handle,
Yeah.
and it would click the trigger, and it had a strap on it. So like I would wear that while I was playing outside all the time. Countless Lego sets, which actually was a really nice moment when the Star Wars Lego land speeder, really basic, cheap set. It's like Obi-Wan and Luke and C-3PO, I think, with the land speeder from the beginning of A New Hope. And Lego re-released that set within the last year, and I was like, I've got to get this.
Yeah.
This is like my childhood in a set. It was, I think, the first Star Wars Lego set I ever got. And so that one was a big one. Like, I'm buying this and I'm opening it and putting it together right away. So I remember I got a cool, like, they always do the standard superhero figure and then the different variations of it. Here's one for water. Here's one for space. Here's one for snow. But I got a couple Batman figures. One of them was like all white and black. It was like Snow Batman or whatever. It was a really cool figure. There's a bunch. I could probably keep rattling off stuff for an hour of just some of the things that I got that it was just so exciting. At one point, you got a drum set. Not to steal your thunder if that was one of yours.
Well, sometimes I start to go, were those birthdays or Christmas?
That was Christmas because I got a TV and a VCR for my room, and that was the first TV.
Yeah.
That was my TV in my room. And with a VCR, that meant I could hook up video games in my room, and it was super exciting.
Yeah, I was, 5th grade, you choose an instrument. I chose snare drum. And I think either that Christmas or the following Christmas, I got a really nice electric blue, like, I think it was Ludwig, like, drum kit with hi-hat and snare and all the toms and the ride cymbal, like everything. Yeah. And the only thing I didn't have was the drum chair. The swivel chair, but I had the throne. I had the whole thing. Loved it. Didn't use it as much as they thought I would, and eventually stopped playing drums. But I had that through. I was in a couple bands with Mike Jett and Ryan Scott, and I took that through. I guess junior high school. Played at church for a while. Anyway, that was pretty cool. But I think my favorite part was just putting stuff together. Like, we got a big G.I. Joe base. It wasn't the main headquarters, but it was like an outpost base that had a helicopter landing pad. It sat on like 4 main pillars, almost like it was an oil rig. I remember that fondly.
The front part slid out,
and
it was sandbags around the edges, so the whole front could slide out, and then a ramp dropped down, and the guys could sit in this little sandbag area in front of the base, or they could hide in it and you could slide it back in. It wasn't supposed to be used that way, but the sandbag dirt became a sliding feature as you were playing with it.
But I remember putting stuff together was so fun for me. Putting the stickers on stuff. We've talked about that before. Like, making sure I did it. Like, everything was nice and level and centered, and putting stickers on stuff.
Right.
Lego sets for sure. Ninja Turtles.
Lots of Lego for me pop into my head from all kinds of themes. I had tons and still do of like knights and pirates and.
Do you remember that My Pal 2 robot? He was clear. And he had like a bunch of different games you could play on him.
Yeah,
you could put a
yeah.
basketball hoop on his belly and
Yeah.
like shoot hoops, or you could like play memory on his stomach, I think, and he could grab stuff and roll, and you could play ring toss on his hat.
I hope all
Yeah.
of you are looking these things up.
My
like
Pal
I
2.
am
Yeah, I
while
remember
we're
that.
talking.
Anyway, man, 90s toys were the best.
Man, I don't remember any of the. I do remember. I do remember getting a BB gun.
Sorry, Dylan just
Oh,
pulled up
he
my,
found it?
He pulled up My Pal 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Yeah,
had so
yeah,
much
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I had so much fun with that thing. He's so dumb looking.
In my head, I was picturing him much cooler than what
Why did I want that?
It's so funny now.
it's creepy looking.
Sorry, Kendall, didn't mean
No,
to
no, no,
cut
no,
you
it's
off.
fine. No, I got a BB gun one year, and that was super exciting. I did not ask for it.
Red Rider.
Daisy, and oh, I see what you're saying. What you're doing there. I actually don't like that movie.
I know.
Anyway, I gotta be, and it's not something that I asked for, but it's still something that I wanted. But it was one of those things where it was like I knew better than to ask for that, you know?
Right.
Like I didn't figure that they would think that I was old enough or
They would
responsible
never,
enough.
yeah.
They wouldn't. I'm just not gonna bother. And then sure enough, like man, one showed up. I never even talked to my parents about
Yeah.
it. And that was a super exciting open for me, is to see that, for all those reasons just described. Other than that, like I remember getting my first guitar. That was a Christmas gift, and that ended up being a huge deal for me. As it would turn out, sort of a life-changing thing for me.
Do you remember what age you were?
Oh, I was older. I
Okay.
was like 18, 19,
Okay.
20. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it took me a good year or two before I like got into it.
Yeah.
But eventually when I did.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I remember like we had a piano, but I remember getting a keyboard that I had asked for, and I was way excited about that as well. My first cell phone when I was in high school was a Christmas gift. That was exciting as well. I don't know. That's about it. So a BB gun that I didn't ask for was the most exciting thing. And then what's going on?
Just finding other toys. And I have a comment on the BB gun thing.
Yeah.
In hindsight, they're far less dangerous than we thought that they were when we were that age.
Exactly.
Probably.
Yeah.
It felt
So,
like you might have
Guys,
owned.
I've got to be real careful. Like going around to the neighborhood kids. Like this isn't a toy. This isn't a toy, guys. We got to be real careful. Let's find some birds.
And literally, probably even if you shot your friend far enough away, they were fine.
Oh no! Eventually, we braved up and did that. Like,
Yeah.
shot each other in the foot with it on purpose.
Yeah. No, we're laughing.
So as it turns out, I wasn't responsible enough.
They were right. They shouldn't
They
have
were-
bought it, and you did shoot your eye out. We're laughing because I had gotten.
Oh man.
I was into. I told you I had tons of Lego Knights and Pirates, and
Right.
I didn't get the biggest sets,
Yeah.
but I got a couple of the Fisher Price. There was a couple castles, and a forest.
Okay.
And these were probably significantly more affordable than Lego.
Yeah.
The figures are twice the height of a Lego minifigure, but when you're a kid, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You pull the Fisher Price Knights out of it,
Right.
and you just play with your Lego. And I still have them. They're
Played with that thing that he.
so much, and it's cool. It had a functioning like cannon. You could drop these like cannonballs down this tower. The platform would like flip open,
Yeah.
and they'd fall down into this little jail at the bottom, and then you could open the
Okay.
jail, and they would roll out. And so much. And I started with the gray Fisher Price Adventure Castle.
Yeah.
If you vaguely remember it from the 90s, Google it. And then eventually I got like a kind of gold one. And then there was like a forest thing with some of the Fisher Price characters were kind of like Robin Hood-esque.
Yeah.
And all of these just became Lego fortresses because I didn't have the big Lego sets.
Right.
I had a couple guys with a little, like a catapult or something.
Yeah.
And so as we were scrolling through some like 90s toys.
There are some really funny, like BuzzFeed, The Dad is a group on Facebook that I follow. And there will be some really funny conversations that start up like we're having, like the gift that you always wanted and never got, or like best 90s toys. Oh man, you can just scroll through there and it's just like all the memories start flooding back of like right now the Ninja Turtles party wagon. Like I remember my friends that had that, and I remember being so excited to go to their house to play with their toys because they had like the party wagon or the big Krang figure or the dome. I forget what the dome was called. Street Sharks. Oh man, it always bothered me, by the way, that the scale never bothered you. That you were playing with castles that were way bigger in scale than the figures that you were playing.
Truth is, I knew it, but I accepted it because the only thing on the castle that really felt out of scale was there was a set of table and chairs, but I would take those out. And so the steps were too big, but that was inside the castle. But the front gate was a ramp, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So it did bother me, but I really just wanted a castle. So.
Even within play sets or themes, like Lego will make one plane or car that is to scale of a minifig, and then they'll have another version from years prior that was much smaller.
Yeah.
And it always bothered me to see them side by side because the scale was different.
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't feel. So
well,
weird.
that came
that's a
from
freak
Dad.
flag. That's a freak flag thing.
That came from Dad because you'd get those army guy sets where the army guy was as tall as the tank and as wide as a third of the tank.
Yeah.
And so it just, he'd like, get rid of that. Like throw it off, throw it back in the back. It doesn't match up.
Or it was always the fighter jet. Like there was a silver jet and a blue jet. And the jets were like a guy could have never actually fit in that. That jet.
Yeah, way off.
It's funny. Oh, man. It's taking me back. So a while ago, I said that we would try this thing.
Yeah.
At the Christmas season, where we have to sing a Christmas carol. And this is going to be epic for the video podcast. So go to the YouTube to watch this.
Don't cash checks.
I stole this from 10 Minute Podcast. I'm not claiming it's my own idea. Will Sasso, Chris D'Elia, Brian Callen, and they would do this thing where they would have to, as serious as possible, sing a Christmas carol while looking at the other two guys. Now, you're going to feel vulnerable and awkward singing seriously, so your tendency to overcompensate is to try to do like a lounge singer voice or like make it a gag because you're feeling uncomfortable and exposed singing. But they would have to try to be as serious as possible. And if they started making it funny or fake or loungy, the other guys would call them on it.
Right.
So it's just fun to see how long we can last trying to sing a Christmas carol to end the episode.
What if we're covering the Christmas carol but trying to use the like timbre of the voice that we've heard? Like if you were to do Blue Christmas.
No, I think you've got to do your own voice.
It has to be your own
It
voice.
can't be an Elvis impression.
Because the minute you start to impersonate, you're doing a character.
Yeah, that's a character.
So that wouldn't work?
Yeah, it has to be you.
All right.
And you
Are we allowed to look up the lyrics?
I think it's better if we don't.
I don't know any. It's going to turn into me humming in like three words.
I think for this game, I think it might make sense to have
And ultimately, this is our gift to all of you.
You're welcome.
This is what we have to give back. And we're going to try to sing, and you can laugh at us. Or you can sing along as you listen.
Or if you're an A&R guy, give us a record deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whichever.
Again,
Those are the only three options.
and it's so funny to hear them do it because it's so hard for them to be serious and they're just cackling and crying, laughing because it gets to the point where it's so hard to actually sing serious in this kind of context.
Yeah.
Okay. So we haven't thought about who's going to sing first or who's going to sing what. So maybe we just tell another person what song they have to sing.
Let's start with Dylan because I think that's probably
Okay.
Give me a song, and I'm going to look up the lyrics.
All right.
And I totally forgot we were even doing this. So
Even
I
better.
certainly didn't know the preface to how this would work.
Away in a Manger.
I feel like Away in a Manger is okay, maybe. Because like doing Away in a Manger isn't one that would lend itself to like using a character voice. And so I wouldn't see you
I see what you're
accidentally
saying.
slipping into that one versus like trying to do like Santa Baby or something like that.
Okay.
I'm just stuck doing whatever you tell me to do.
I want to see, now that I said it.
Santa baby. It has to be Santa.
Can I do the Santa Buddy, the Michael Bublé?
We don't need to worry about. No, we don't need to worry about.
Nah,
the name,
licensing?
blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
licensing stuff?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Can I do like the
Don't
Bublé,
sue
the
us.
Santa Buddy lyrics? Can
No,
I do that one?
no,
I
Santa
have to
Baby.
sing Santa Baby.
Santa Baby.
Yep.
I can't even sing from the male perspective.
Mariah Carey.
Nope.
Santa Baby. You do not change words.
All right, I'm looking up the lyrics now.
It is better if it's a slow song for the trying to be serious part, but I like this one. I like this one a lot. Oh, I'm so
You
excited.
can snap along to it.
So in theory, if I do this well and don't break, I have to sing the whole song.
No. I mean, we're not going to make you sing the whole song.
Well, we might. We'll see.
Okay.
It's because it's if I break or I do a schmoozy version.
If you start getting jokey, we call you on it.
so I have to try to.
You
not
have to try
do-
to be as serious as possible. Like you're performing this. That's what the premise is.
Like this is your song that was written for you. To
written for
sing.
you. You are performing
You're performing
this,
it in front of people who paid money to watch you do it.
and you're being so serious.
See,
and
it's
you're-
going to be hard to be serious with Santa Baby.
You can't click because Corey does this thing a lot where he closes his eyes
right.
to focus on what he's trying to do. You can't do that.
I can't do that. I got to read lyrics.
Fine.
All right. Okay. I'm so sorry in advance for everyone. Okay.
Apology accepted.
Thank you. Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me.
Yeah.
I've been an awful good girl.
Keep going.
started so good.
Santa. Sorry, no. Okay, I'm gonna skip that lyric. Okay. Santa baby, a 54 convertible to light blue. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby. So hurry down the chimney tonight.
Nice. That's very good.
Oh, thank
All
you.
right.
You totally did it.
Is it done?
crushed
I didn't get to the I've been an awful good girl
do it.
very well.
Okay, keep going then.
Let's see. Okay. Think of all the fun I've missed. I think of all the fellas that I haven't kissed. Next year I could be just as good if you'll check off my Christmas list.
Nice, man.
All right. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. It might have gone longer and better if I had Santa Buddy, but I'm not complaining.
Nope, that was very good.
I played the hand I was dealt.
And some of you are thinking that got a little loungy, but you listen to a lot of Bublé, so,
No,
so
that's-
you would have.
That's legitimately.
That's
I can-
actually
I can
my
see
that's
that.
my default.
You're not putting on a character, so
No, that's my default. That's
very good, man.
plus that's kind of the song. I'm not based on who sang it, but that song's kind of a loungy. You know, it's got that kind of it bops along.
No,
I
I don't think you were
Yeah,
trying
alright.
to create a silly character.
Okay,
out of
good.
that.
I get
That was
bonus points
very
for
good.
one sentence.
It's the kind of music that your dads would listen to, which is the kind of music Dylan's in, and the kinds of things that your kids want for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the kinds of things that Dylan wants for Christmas.
Pretty much same seas.
All right. So, do I have to nominate somebody else for
Yes.
a song now?
Yeah, since you
Yeah.
went first,
All
that
right.
was very brave of you. I'm very proud.
That's fine. I've got an audience of 2, so it's fine. Okay, Corey, you'll go next. Kendall, help me come up with a song.
I kind of want to stick with the Mariah Carey theme.
All I Want for Christmas Is You.
No, there's another one. Shoot, what is it? It's not coming fast enough.
You
That-
Googling
that's
it?
what she said.
That's what she said. I'm gonna hold on. And Mariah Carey Christmas.
I can't believe this is the artist we're choosing from.
It is the artist. I think we're doing. Yeah, fine. All I want for Christmas is you. Is fine.
All right.
I'm not finding it fast enough.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking up the lyrics because I don't know them all off the top of my head.
Even if you did, having to try to also stare at each other in the eye. You're going to get distracted even if you happen to know the lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay. All I Want for Christmas Is You, song by Justin Bieber, apparently, and Mariah Carey.
Interesting.
I have to be serious. You've got to do a slow one because there's something about doing slow ones that's fun.
Okay, we can go back.
Okay. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. Ooh, baby.
All right.
Ah, nice job.
Yeah, good job. Lame. All right.
Oh, Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night.
Yep. This is the one that Crystalia had to do, and it was so funny. So funny.
So funny.
So funny.
Is that a Crystalia thing?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, Holy Night. All right.
I was a little pitchy, dog. Sorry.
It's it's okay, dog. It's okay. Oh, Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night.
By Mariah Carey. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
More eye contact.
Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the
got a little silly. Got a little silly.
felt its worth. A thrill of
Did you
hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night divine.
Nice.
Very good. I thought you got a little silly for a second.
I didn't get silly at all.
You came back.
I
You
didn't
did a
get
little,
silly.
I thought you did.
I
said.
protest.
I thought you
I
did for a
I
second,
protest.
and then you came back. You did a little a thrill.
A
had
thrill.
You had a thrill of hope, but that was very good. That was a fun little thing that we did. I hope you all enjoyed it. And you're welcome for your Christmas gift. Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone. Seriously, we hope you have a wonderful holiday and Christmas season with friends and family. Soak it up. Show up where your feet are. Enjoy each moment. Don't rush to the next thing. Really be present with family and friends. And we hope that, your year ends well. And Merry New Year, Christmas, happy season.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Ludicrous. Love you, buddy.